Got a little bit of sunburn today, but today we're going to talk about how to control your ego and how that can benefit you in life. So, I feel like for a large part of my life, I probably suffered from having a huge ego. It just seemed like I was always ready to, say that I can do the most complicated thing and whatever, just for the gratification of saying like, oh, I did this really hard thing that no one else could do. Okay, so that works sometimes. That really is like a cool thing sometimes. But when you are doing real things, like when you're working on real projects and you're trying to create real products and work in a real business, that is often very counterproductive. Because what you'll come to find is that to create really fantastic things or to work as a part of a team, you got to utilize everyone's strengths. And so if you're the type of person who's like, I'm just going to jump on anything regardless, and I'm not going to think twice, I'm not going to plan, I'm not going to try and use other people and leverage other people into positions that could possibly finish the project faster or do a better job than me, then that's counterproductive. That's so counterproductive. And it took me a long time to realize it, but I see it now. I see it now because what I do is I look for people who are really good at a particular thing and I try and leverage that. Like, I'll learn from them. I'm never just going to sit back and just accept that someone else is going to do it for me. I'm not the person who says, okay, here's my keyboard, do this, write this program for me. I'll never do that. But I will find a way to create a division of labor so that I can leverage other people's skills. And I really think that that's a hard thing to accept when you're first starting work. And it doesn't have to be programming. It could be anything. It could literally be anything. It could be school. It could be being in a relationship. Sometimes there's other ways to do things. And the reason that we're so stubborn in not accepting that is because of our egos. So how do you catch this stuff? Well, when you're in a position where you have to make a decision or you have to complete something, before you even jump into it, ask yourself, why are you the person who's doing it? Why isn't someone else doing it? Not like in a way like, why aren't they doing it? But like, think, how would someone else that approach a situation? Would they approach it better? Do you know someone who's been through this thing before? Could you possibly talk to them, get some experience, and have like a conversation to figure out how to approach a situation? Because not everything has to happen super fast all the time. It's not like every single day we're James Bond and we're like, trying to take care of like a time bomb or something like that. And if that is the case, then that's just the way it's gonna have to be. But I'm talking about the regular everyday situations where we make decisions like, hey, I'm gonna go buy a car without asking anyone I know who's bought a car. I'm not gonna ask anyone, I'm just gonna go do it. Go to a place and go get ripped off. Or, hey, you know what, here's this project and I have no idea how to write an app, but whatever, I'm just gonna jump in, I'm gonna do it anyways. Okay, because those situations lead to a lot of frustration and they could have been slowed down because there's no reason that couldn't have been done the next day or the day after that or the day after that or the day after that or the day after that. I understand there's emergencies and sometimes that has to happen, but I'm talking about the rare one-off cases where it's like we just make brash, impromptu decisions because our ego's telling us to do it. So how to control that? Communicate with others. Take time to evaluate your decision. And the thing I always stress, just write it down. Write down what you're about to do. Like, if you're about to go spend a bunch of money on something, have the respect for yourself to write down what you're buying and why you're buying it. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been like, oh yeah, I gotta go get this thing. And I write it down. I'm like, wait, I have like 50 things I have like 100 of these things already. Why do I need this thing? So communicate with others, take time to slow things down, and write down what you're trying to do. And then try to see what's going to happen after you reach that goal. Okay? Because have you ever written an app? Do you have any idea what it looks like to be done with an app? Have you ever bought a car? Do you have any idea what it's like to actually buy a car? Have you ever owned a house? Do you have any idea what it's like to own a house? Have you ever been married to someone? Do you have any idea what it's like to be married? Do you know what that looks like as a finished thing? So All of these things are really important to take into consideration when you're trying to make a decision. Like, don't let your ego just jump in and, go with your gut when you have to. But if you don't have to, don't abuse yourself and make such brash decisions that could change your life, mess up some situation, or, screw something up catastrophically, because we got a long time. Like, we got a long time to live. And I think the more, I'm not saying being cautious, but I'm thinking like being wise. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with like being in the real world. Maybe on a test you have to go with your gut in a decision, or maybe in like a quick business decision you have to make like a quick decision. But like, I'm talking about everyday normal situations. Sometimes we could slow those down, and we could really reduce a lot of stress in our lives by reducing the ego, by making sure that we're making the right choice and not the choice that we think we're going to make because we want to feel better about ourselves. So that's it for today. If you like these little videos on practical advice, I'm always making videos Monday through Friday. And, I like to kind of talk about things that I've been through in life. And, I think a lot of this video comes from me just talking with old people. Like, I talk with mad old people all the time, and I ask them questions, and I think that all of them have shared this with me, that like the biggest regret they have is like being so ego driven throughout their life that they made decisions that they really regret. So, it's coming from me, but it's also coming from people I've talked to. So if you like these little videos about advice, I'm always putting one out, and if you like and subscribe, you'll get more content like this. Thank you for watching.